Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Unheard Insights by Excel Joab, the number one podcast that you should be listening to. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I am back with a new episode of Unheard Insights, and today I have a very, 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 very special guest. She is my big auntie, my big sister, my school mother in this Lagos.
Like that.
My school mother. Yes, that if I'm doing nonsense, she'll call me and say, Excel, you're doing nonsense. And if I'm doing well, she'll come and say, Excel, well done, well done, well done, well done. I have the incredible Ndidi Ukaonu. It's
Thank
me
you.
in the
Thank
studio.
you, Excel.
Yeah.
So we're coming to expose ourselves, eh?
Yes, we are. So first of all, Ndidi Ukaonu she's a very powerful woman. She's done a lot in banking and finance, over 2 decades, if I'm correct.
Yeah, correct.
Over 2 decades. She used to be with GTB, now with Parthian Capital.
Parthian Financial Group.
Parthian Financial Group. Okay, I wonder if I pronounce that
You'll
well.
hear a lot about us, don't worry. Very soon, you can't, it'll be an
We will not be able
unmistakable
to.
name. That's right.
Yes, okay. And she's also an author, The Power of Work.
Correct.
She released a book called The Power of Work. Amazing book. And she also has kicked off a brand new, what would I call it? Would I call it an event series? What would I call
it's
it?
a boot camp.
Boot
I
camp.
hate to call it a conference. It's
Okay.
a boot camp. Yes.
And it was amazing. It ties into this book, The Power of Work.
Correct.
And then she highlighted the concept, because I was in attendance, you highlighted the concept of
Intrapreneurship. Yes.
Intrapreneurship. I've heard the phrase before, but that was the first time that you really broke it down, and I heard it and I got a lot of context. And what I also loved about that event was seeing how you had the gift for teaching.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Interesting.
because there are people who have knowledge, and when they share it, it doesn't cut across. Teaching is getting it. Teaching is not having the knowledge; it's being able to pass it to the next person. That's what teaching is. And
But you know what always surprises me?
what's that?
Is, and I hear it quite a bit,
Okay.
like people are hearing the word intrapreneurship for the first time. What has always been in my head is everybody knows the word entrepreneurship, but I always felt people knew the word intrapreneurship but didn't quite understand it.
Yeah.
Because they just felt if you were working in a 9 to 5, then you were an intrapreneur. Truth is, you're an employee. Becoming an intrapreneur is something that happens further down the line if you choose it. Yeah, so I get that quite a bit, that people haven't heard the word before.
It was an amazing session. That was the Power of Work boot camp.
Correct.
Happened in Lagos. We are expecting other editions.
Abuja, May the 16th.
Oh, there's a date. It's locked already.
Yeah, it's locked in. Next week, I will be with the Abuja crew.
Oh, wow.
And we will hopefully do the magic again.
Okay. So Abuja Ndidi is bringing the magic to you guys. Look out for that. Now,
Thank you.
Big Diddy is also one of those people that calls me and say, won't you get married? Won't you get married, Excel? Won't you get married? She has even tried to matchmake. And
Correct.
In fact, anybody that calls me to marry, let me put this out. Anybody that calls me to marry, if you don't even make attempts to matchmake, don't stop calling me. Because she has gone the extra mile. I'm not saying he walked to, but at least I appreciate
He
the
has
effort.
exposed me.
I appreciate the effort. Now, Big Diddy, you've been married for how long? More than
25 years.
25 years. And just before we started recording, we were talking about, I was describing how I see your marriage, and I see it as very fresh.
Yeah.
I see it as fresh. I see you guys are still playful with each other. You guys still para for each other 1 minute, and you guys are playful the next minute. And you guys still have a lot of fun together. You guys have friendship. You and your husband.
Yes.
You have
So
friendship.
Maybe that's what it is. It's genuine friendship. It's not a relationship for show. I think that for us, it is we're in union where we are both ourselves. So we're very comfortable being in our skin. If you say we have a lot of fun, I would doubt it. I think that we're one of the driest couples that you will ever meet.
It doesn't seem that way when I see you guys outside. That's not how it looks. So.
No, so I mean, we like to be with each other. We are mostly always at home, and so maybe that's why I say we're not a fun couple. Like we go out, and no, it's just not us. It is that being at home with each other. We would tend to quarrel if why are you going upstairs when I came downstairs? Are you going up? Let's go. Are you coming down? Let's go down. Is that kind of following each other around
or the
the
one
house?
I've seen, which is like, I think he's ready to go after church service, and you are still greeting 1,000 people. I've seen that one.
So because we have different personalities,
Yeah.
right? One of the things that happens with my husband, sometimes before we go to church, his way of asking is he'll say to me, do you have a meeting? That's the signal
preparing
to
himself.
carry your car.
Yeah, okay.
Carry your own car. Honestly, Ndidi, I don't have time for this. But the interesting thing is these days, because he serves in counseling in the Lekki campus of the Covenant Nation.
Yeah.
It's my pastor's birthday. Shout out to Pastor Poji.
Shout out DJ Pope.
DJ Pope. And so he's lingering a bit these days. So it's not just me who has that error. It's also him. People are holding him down.
Yes.
And so.
These days, a lot of young people don't want to get married. In fact, they talk about marriage with a lot of fear, with a lot of hesitation. And I think what one of the problems is social media shows us a lot of failed marriages.
Yeah.
And we don't see the marriages that work. Neither do we hear what it takes to work. And I feel like even when we hear what it takes to work, we just hear, it's tough, it's tough, but it's tough. It's like, and I feel like we're in the era where people want a lot of comfort, people want a lot of ease, and people are very self-invested. You speak to a lot of young people. You mentor a lot of people as well.
Yes.
From your conversations with young people, what have you picked as problems with maybe wrong mindsets people have regarding marriage, and how can we correct that?
So, I mean, I see this fear that has gripped people, and that's one of the negative sides of social media, as you have said. But I think that a lot of things that we need to correct are really in the foundations. So there's a lot of error going into marriage. And I will try and speak to a few things. So for several years, when people speak to me about marriage, one of my first counsels is that Cinderella is a cartoon character.
Okay.
Yeah, because the tendency is that we all have a fairy tale in our head going into marriage. And, the nearest cartoon that we relate to, and that's why we all wear I think I even talked about it in my book, we all wear, we want to look like a princess on the day of the wedding.
Yes.
And so we have been conditioned, when I get into marriage, it's going to be like this, it's going to be like that. And the quest for marrying the perfect man or the perfect woman has yielded trophy wives and trophy husbands. So you're working towards a perfect physical picture. There are times when I've heard people say to me, do we look good together? And I often ask them to who? So it's very superficial, a lot of the things that we're going for. But the truth is that there is a depth that you should be seeking. First thing I'll say, stop being afraid. My marriage has enabled me. I did a post on social media end of last year where I didn't talk to my husband. He saw it like everybody else. And he called me, said, Ndidi, what's this? I pushed to change my name from Ndidi Ukaonu to Ndidi Ukaonu, because I am my husband's. I am one of my husband's legacies. It's not his children. My marriage has enabled me incredibly. So I think that if you don't get into a union like that, you're missing something. So first of all, even in the headspace, the why. Why are you getting married? For some people, you want your friends to say, oh, wow, see the fine man. And you married someone with all the aesthetics, but is lacking in the depth of character. So your actual reason, okay, is one of the issues. And I know that has been exacerbated or escalated by social media once again. I am a spiritual person. I don't believe in taking major decisions in my life when I haven't sought God. But I say to people that in seeking God for anything, the first step is not actually prayer. The first step is surrendering your will. The Bible says something about a double-minded man
Cannot receive anything.
Correct. So you cannot go to God and say, show me your own. So when you bring your own, I'll compare it to my own. Then I will know the one that I'm going to take. Now your mate. So I think you have to come from a place where you understand God's incredible love for you. That, God loves you so much. It's impossible for him to do wrong towards you. So I had to come to the place where my will was completely surrendered. A lot of us in seeking to go to God when we're praying for marriage, the truth is in our heart of hearts, we don't believe even though we say we do. We're afraid that when we ask God for his will in a matter, I'm not going to give me something I don't like. Give me brother Obil Nada is blind in one eye, is crooked, that one that doesn't know how to speak English, doesn't have swag. We're thinking God cannot give you evil. He said, you, being human, when your child will ask you for bread, you will not give him a snake. And the Bible says, how much more? So, you must go to God. Your surrendering must be predicated on the character of God. Love. He loves you. He can't do you wrong. And then when you are yielded, then you follow God. And then, thirdly, I always say to people that even after you prayed and God spoke to the hearing of the 1,000 people in your congregation, in your church,
You still have work
or
to
even
do.
outside, you still have work to do.
This is the one. This is part people don't talk about. Yeah,
Right?
You still have a lot of work to do.
Have work to do. One of the major things that I'll say to you that I've learned is advance forgiveness. I heard this term first from Pastor Adeboye years ago. Yeah, and I never understood it, Excel. I was like, which one is advanced forgiveness? But in my marriage, I came to understand it. That, before he has done that wrong, no matter how bad, I'm going to forgive him. It requires understanding. And then I entered into that place. But the truth is that advanced forgiveness is also born from a place of selfishness. Two things I'll tell you. When you don't forgive, you are the one who is primarily hurting. If you don't let go, you will not be let go. That's number one. Number two, honestly, that you ask yourself, is there anything worth the incredible impact that my husband has had in my life? Is there anything that he can do that can substitute the benefits that I as a person has received, is receiving, has continued to receive as a result of being married to this man? I just don't see the thing that compares. So I recognize his humanity, that there will be seasons when he will fail.
Yeah.
He's not perfect. And in those seasons, I will stand for him. I will have his back, no matter how angry that I feel. We're better together than being apart. Finally, divorce. I know that that's something everybody accepts. When we counsel couples, because we both counsel a lot of couples, we say to people, the tendency is that you think that divorce is it solves your problem. But I point out that you need to know early on that divorce is the exchange of one type of problem for another type of problem.
Explain that.
Okay. So you feel that as soon as you are divorced from this man, everything is suddenly okay. It's not true, especially if you have the complication of children already in the marriage. Then you have to, work out. That's working out you didn't want to work out. You must work out how to co-parent. You must work out how not to transfer your anger and bitterness to your children. There are just so many things that must be resolved. You must work out making peace with that situation, dealing with each other when you see each other. There's so much. So it is, can I work it out? Or will I still need to go and work it out outside of it? So divorce brings its own complications. We must speak to that and we must recognize that. Now, when there's a life on the line, I don't think that that's something anybody can debate.
Yeah.
But divorce is the exchange of one for another.
For me, marriage is one of those and to you, it will not be the same. But me, I'm speaking from my side of the aisle as someone who has not married.
Yeah.
It looks like a huge leap of faith. And I say this because not only am I committing to do this with this person, I'm also committing to do this with this person for life. To me, there's no divorce in my
dictionary,
personal
correct.
dictionary. I want to marry and be married with that one person and grow with the person forever. And one of the things I've now observed that I have seen affect couples is, and this is why I say leap of faith, is, for instance, let's say in a marriage, they've been together for a while. Let's say the husband or the wife, one person is growing more mentally, career-wise, just growing more, mind being expanded and thinking way bigger. And the other person is dragging a bit and still doesn't want to grow. And, maybe before you know it, the person who is growing more, it could happen that you just find a friend. It's that a friend in the office that has that same thing that you wish, and I've seen how this has now led to a bigger fracture. I know that there are people who currently face these problems. And as someone who counsels couples, what's your advice in a situation like that?
I don't think that being married should force you or make you lose your individuality. I think a lot of times, and I dare say, well, it happens to both genders. You're trying to, back to the Cinderella story, you're trying to make your spouse become that picture in your head. You must acknowledge that your spouse is who they are. They have the way their life is. They have the things that they want, that they desire. Enable them. They need to be comfortable in their own skin. They don't need to feel like they should be somebody else when they're around you. They can support you, but they don't have to be you. So respecting even that individuality or independence in marriage, I think it's important. Enabling each other, advancing each other. That advancement can be, in career, it can be two different directions. So let's use, I'm a medical doctor. My husband is in the creative arts. Nollywood.
Mm-hmm.
You must, those are careers that dictate to different things. You can't be forcing your spouse to live to the dictates of your medical profession. And your spouse should not be forcing you to live to the dictates of Nollywood.
Yeah.
And maybe a great example, and I know that there are a number of people, there are a lot of Hollywood couples that you realize that you know the guy, but you don't really know who they are married to.
No.
Or you know the woman, but you don't really know who they are married
Very
to.
quiet.
Right?
Yeah.
That they have kept, their spouse would rather be quiet, hidden.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to be out there with you and your drama. You spoke to me and my husband being the more reserved one, ready to leave.
Yeah.
And me, I
Greeting
have a natural greeting
1,000
ministry.
people.
1,000 people in church.
Yeah.
But you accommodate each other. You define your coping strategy. Dolly Parton speaks so much about her husband. He's late now. But a lot of people did not know who Dolly Parton was married to. In fact, a lot of people didn't realize she was married.
Yeah.
But she was married for the longest time and spoke about how her husband enabled her.
Me and you know somebody like that today in Nigeria. Do you know who that is? T.Y. Bello.
Oh, yes.
T.Y. Bello.
Great example.
Yeah.
So, T.Y. is an acquaintance.
Yeah.
But you know that till today, I don't know what T.Y.'s husband looks like.
A lot of
And
people
I think
don't
a
know.
lot of people do not know.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take away the fact that, you know what? I think as long as you agree on the fundamentals, your value system, your faith, you see those things? Not up for negotiation. But in terms of how you express yourself and your aspiration in and from life, please let everybody express to the fullness of their individuality. And I think that a lot of times you will find in the hidden place the dependencies, how you support, how you partner. On the outside, you can look like, in fact, someone actually asked my husband a few years back that, people say you should marry your kind, but I doesn't understand how both of us have a seemingly great marriage because we are two different type of people. Because the expression that you see on the outside is two different expressions, but it is founded on the same values.
Yeah. Now, aside from married couples that you counsel, you also speak a lot to teenagers and Gen Zs and the Gen Alphas.
Yeah, teach church teacher.
Yeah. So, what have you noticed with the younger generation? So, I mean, there's how Gen Z is branded, and they are branded as people who are just like rude,
coconut head.
Yes. You have a Gen Z.
Oh yeah, so I have.
Yeah, you have a Gen.
Well, I have Gen Z and Gen Alpha.
Your daughter is Gen Alpha.
Yeah, my daughter is Gen Alpha.
Fantastic.
She's 11. She'll be 12. And then I have my boys are 25 and 22.
What differences you've seen between Gen Z and Gen Alpha?
So it's okay. It's hard for me to say. I don't know that I see those differences. Maybe the real difference is that we're older and maybe we're a bit more tired. But are we? We've always been firm with our children. With our kids, we are particular about instilling values.
Yeah.
And our values are the same regardless of your generation. So I'm not sure that I believe that, this Gen Z, maybe the fundamental difference, if you ask me, is in the way that we're raising them. I think that a lot of what we're seeing that we're complaining about is actually a parenting problem.
So it's our fault.
Yes, to some great extent.
See the way I say our like I have a child.
So I think that it's a parenting problem. And maybe I'll open up on one or two things, right? And I'll tell you this, that I always used to say that, maybe the kind of parenting that we are seeing today was brought about by wealth.
Okay.
A lot of the people were raised very young when Obasanjo was president.
Yes.
There was prosperity
in
the country.
I remember this.
And it became that season that there was the, you would, a lot of times, are you going for summer became a greeting that happened in May, June. Interestingly, I used to reply to people and I'll say, what summer? In Nigeria, I know dry season and rainy season. I don't know what people are talking about. But we started to raise children in the middle class with some kind of affluence, and we gave them the mentality that we had a certain wealth that I'm not sure that we quite had. So we were raising them and losing some of the values, the kind of things that I think parents compromised. I am still for the African way of raising children. I think one of the things that has maybe suffered more than anything else from that era. I mean, a lot of us are talking about, the Gen Z. I think it's our educational system. A lot of teachers today are afraid of parents. And so the things that they should do in the schools, putting their foot down, demanding discipline, they don't do anymore because the parent is going to come and shout, coming to make trouble. So they are careful with your child in class. And so they let the child do anyhow and be anyhow. And then the outcome is what? So we can go on and on. I think that in parenting, we compromised. And so let me close that point out with a conversation that I had with I have this friend. His English name is Andy. Andy is Chinese true and true, but he's one of my brothers. I met him in the course of work. Andy comes to my house to eat egusi soup. He likes peppered fried meat, but he's my brother.
Okay.
And one day I asked Andy, I said, do you have this Gen Z phenomenon in China? He said, how do you want to have it? I said, He said, you can't have it. Do you understand China? That do I know the cost of a tiny plot of land? That, with China, you're either in the major cities or you're in the rural areas.
Yeah.
It's one or the other. So the kind of hard work and the things that you have to do them. And even as much as he says that, the average Chinese household, there are strict demands. The same with the Indians. When all of these people were doing great things and migrating, they were not compromising on their culture and their values. We compromised our culture and our values. And so that's where I think the fundamental problem is.
So,
Don't put me inside trouble.
I think that you have been uniquely placed to do what you do in the finance world, and at the same time interact with young people, and you've interacted a bit with young creative people.
Mm-hmm. Courtesy of Excel, Great Man, Abadi, and Foy.
You've been acting with young creative people. First of all, I want to give a big shout out to the team that worked with Auntie Ndidi on the Power of Work Bootcamp.
Thank you.
They did a fantastic job.
Yes.
They did a fantastic job.
Thank
A fantastic job. I was blown away when I came in. I was like, whoa.
All volunteers, amazing group
And
of people.
young people.
Yes, young people.
Young people.
Young people, I have to say.
What has been your experience working with young people, especially creative young people?
So let me say this. What I've discovered, as a leader, I used to be so afraid for young people.
Why?
You cannot throw away experience.
Yeah.
You can't.
Never.
I see that they often like to dispense or discount experience. So what's that a proverb that we all like to quote? That what a young man cannot see when he's up the tree, an old man. It is true in a lot of respects, right? And I experienced this thing even with my mother when I used to think that, what do you know? What are you saying? But every time, like 90% of the time, my mother wasn't wrong. So I learned to yield to her counsel. I just feel that I used to be, let me go back there. I used to be afraid for them. And so I would want to maybe excessively handhold and pull them back because I can see that they're on the path that would mess them up. But at some point, I had to make my peace with the fact that, our good side is always reflective of our bad side. It's something I will explain later. But it is that thing that you are afraid of that truly makes them great. I will explain. Their daring nature, their willingness to try, they are risk takers.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you must make your peace with the fact that you can't save everybody. That in the process, some people will be irretrievably messed up. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
Right? But you need to let them have that expression. But I think that it's important that young people, in and of themselves, must self-regulate in a way that they bring balance into that their own journey. Okay? And when I say self-regulate, what would I be referring to? There's this conversation around the founder of Money Point and what he said and what he did not say, and they've dragged the hell out of him. And I was going to do a post on LinkedIn. I probably still will. And when I go to the comments, I see a lot of people, as we say in Nigeria, tearing shirts. And then train them. Look at even the attitude with which you are saying train them. Like it's the sense of entitlement. Look, there's a teaching and a learning responsibility. It doesn't matter how much I want to teach you Excel. If you don't come with the right attitude, there is very little that I can pass on. You cannot come to someone who you hope will teach you and not yield yourself to be taught. And so I say a lot of times, people, they want to dictate how much they are paid, when they start work, when they end, where they work and how they work, and they want to tell you what the outcome of their appraisal is. That's not real life.
Yeah.
There's something called accountability. And sometimes in being accountable, people are going to tell you things your ear doesn't want to hear. What you then do with that information is up to you. So, as much as people must take the teaching responsibility seriously, I think that the more valuable posture and the predominant posture should be the learning responsibility. Are you humble enough to be taught? And so you will hear, I used to say a lot, and I hear a lot of people say it today, that you hire for attitude and then you will train for skill. A lot of skilled people cannot survive because they just have the worst attitude in the room. You come in and you poison the environment. Nobody wants that. So on both ends of the aisle, there is responsibility. You can't sit on that end of the aisle and say, you must train us. You're not wrong. Older people, even the Bible says, let the older women teach the young. Okay? So there is responsibility for the older generation to teach, to train, to mentor. But there is also responsibility for the younger people to yield themselves to be taught. I think that that's a fundamental problem, that we don't see enough young people yielding themselves to be taught. It doesn't matter what you think of the generation before you, right? They have something to offer.
Yeah.
And in closing that, when people talk about Gen Z, I say this thing as a joke, but in certain respects, I kind of mean it. I always think that sometimes young people do the things that they do because you're not paying real bills yet. School fees will humble you. School fees, rent will humble you, right? And then there are just some things, when you have dependents, some of the decisions that you take will not be as jumpy.
Wow.
Now you're going to be a bit more, bills have a way of making us responsible.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
So I just think that when we are young, once again, back to parenting, you're probably saying the things that you're saying or thinking the way you're thinking because what's the worst that will happen? You're going to throw away the job. You're going to tell everybody to F off. And you will have a house to sleep in. Your mother will still be cooking. There will be food. It's because you're at home. People are carrying your bills. You haven't seen real bills. When you see real bills, you will rise, be more responsible because, no, let me not say be more responsible. It's not like people are not responsible. You will rethink some of the decisions that you are taking.
Yeah.
Because you need to be alive. And, maybe I should land it this way. I used to tell, for me, the madness started with the millennials. And then I used to tell them that it's Mark Zuckerberg that used to make them crazy. But, as quick up in his head and as creative, as fantastic, as successful as Mark Zuckerberg was, he had to get a woman called Sheryl Sandberg, significantly older. He courted her. People told him to go and recruit her. She refused to yield to him and insisted that they needed a corporate courtship. Go and read this story.
A corporate courtship.
A corporate courtship. So they were meeting, and I even went through that process with the founder where I work today. And they were meeting, I think it was every week. He was traveling to go and meet with her every week before she took a decision that, you know what?
I can come on board.
I'll come on board. Let's do this. And that process did make her a billionaire. Right? But she wanted to be sure that she could go on this journey with this young man. And Mark himself knew that, you know what, he couldn't do it by himself. Had a lot of young people working for him. Sheryl was significantly older than Mark when they told him, you got to go get her. And I think that Sheryl has to be credited for stabilizing Facebook. If not, a lot of things would have gone wrong. So it doesn't matter how, back to the creatives, how creative your juices are, someone needs to help you with stability, and someone who has experience with building structures and building systems and showing you the way. So all the generations must work together. They must. That's where the real value is. That's synergy.
Which now brings me to purpose in work. And this is us entering entrepreneurship
Yes.
era. Entrepreneurship area. Right? Purpose in work. Because I am blessed enough. I'm very fortunate. God has helped me in the way that my career has gone. Right from when I started, everywhere that I worked, it was very meaningful to me because it was part of what I saw my life as, and I'm still on that track. So I've been very. In fact, I think the only place I worked that it still helped me even was I worked in Dana Airline.
Oh, wow.
And I was
never knew that.
And I did HR. This was NYSC period.
Wow.
I did HR. And like I was in charge of calculating overtime for pilots. You don't want to make mistake there because
That's always money.
pilots can para and say, you know what, we're not flying today. Our money is not complete. That actually had happened before. Not to me, but it had happened in the company. So they're like, Excel, we beg you, get this thing correctly. And as someone who has creative flair, creative people and structured environment clash.
That's right.
So I had to fit myself into it, and I am so grateful for it because I can work in places like where I work now in Sony Music and whatnot, and I can at the same time understand creative people when they just want to express, and I'm like, fine, but this is what will sustain it, the structure. So now I want to talk about purposefulness and work, because in a country like Nigeria where there is mass poverty and a lot of people just need to work to feed. There are people who are caught between following their passion and working to survive. In fact, there are people who argue that following your passion is not a sustainable way of life. In fact, it's not advisable. It's for the 1% that do such. So what advice would you have for young people who struggle with this? Because there are young people who have passions. I know, for example, a lot of people who have walked away from the creative industry to go and get either a job in the bank or a job in HR or start a business because, like, I need to eat. I need to survive. I need to send money back home and whatnot. Yeah.
So, okay. So one of my favorite authors is he's late now. In fact, my two favorite authors are late now. Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He says in Habit 2, begin with the end in mind. Yes. So it is beginning with the end in mind. And that end is something that we're going to go a bit academic now.
Yeah. That's
because purpose at work is my area, right? Yeah. That end is founded in a model that was created by Abraham Maslow called the hierarchy of needs or the theory of human motivation.
Yeah.
And it speaks to what drives you as a human being. So you probably want to go and listen to my speech at the platform in 2023. And you will see that, he creates this pyramid, and then you say, the very basic needs, food, shelter, clothing. After that, you start to see security. Look, if you don't have where to live or food to eat, security is not so important to you. Esteem needs. Give me food. That's what happened to Cain, Esau, and Jacob.
Make I chop
first. Meanwhile, Jacob was discussing birthright esteem. Because he had the porridge. Esau was hungry. Say, give me food, carry title. So, before you start discussing all of those things, you first need to eat. But as you fulfill all those needs, all those other things, security, esteem, aesthetic needs, start becoming important to you. But you get to the end, and the end is finding purpose, fulfillment. Abraham Maslow calls it self-actualization. And then later in his revised work, he changes the peak to self-transcendence. Self-actualization is becoming everything that is possible for you to become. You see, in our nature, we are all different. Some people are crazy about music. Some people just want to be professors, teaching. Everybody has something calling or pulling them.
Yeah.
That is your ultimate motivation. And that is something that you're never going to have peace until you actualize. When you hear he's living fulfilled, it's not everybody is going to sleep on one bed. No matter how big your house, you must sleep in one room. You're not going to sleep in your 12 rooms at the same time. No matter how affluent people become, you see that everybody is still searching for something. So if you come from that, ultimately they've told me that this is where I'm going to find fulfillment. Then what work or your journey should be about is picking the assets that eventually make for that thing at the end.
Yeah.
And so when people say, is it my father's work? I don't care about work. No. Work is a long-term internship that is preparing you also for fulfillment. But a lot of us are not paying attention to all the assets that we pick, need to pick, that are available to pick, that ultimately then makes fulfillment for us, or what some of us will refer to as greatness possible at the end of the day. So there is this mentality today where we're basically saying that, if you're not an entrepreneur, your life is not worth it. No, we just have two paths. Some people are going to start from day one to build. Some people are going to get off what they helped other people build to build. I think that ultimately all of us must express the creativity of God himself by manifesting the seed that is inside of us to create what God has put in us to advance the cause of others. Because nobody is creating for creative purposes.
Yeah.
Everything that everybody is creating is to add value one way or the other. We say, adding
society,
value.
yeah.
Yes, you're not just adding value in the air. Who is society? Society is men and women, the people who live on the earth. So ultimately, everybody is going to have to get into that creative mode. What is the value that you as a human will add? That value-adding machine is going to will be manifested as profit, non-profit, governmental, but will you need to create? Oh, yes. I think ultimately in self-fulfillment is creativity.
This is so interesting because it seems like God did a hack that we don't get in the beginning. And the hack is like, first you go on this journey where you discover yourself.
Yeah.
Then you become self-obsessed.
Yes.
Then you reach the peak of self-obsession and realize that, I'm supposed to serve other people.
So let me tell you so Bob Buford is another great author, my other great author who is late, author of, Bob Buford writes in his book, Halftime, Beyond Halftime, Finishing Well, a series, Game Plan. He says something. He refers to something that I've called the 4 S's: struggle, success, significance, and surrender. And that's what you're talking about. Our myopic view of the world when we don't know enough is that we struggle to succeed. But when you get to success, you are looking for more. You then enter significance. I want to make impact. You make impact, you're applauded for the impact. But you know what? I want to give myself completely to this cause. At the end, it will stop being about you completely. That you surrender and you yield yourself almost completely or completely for the profiting of others. So don't forget the 4 S's. We struggle, we succeed, we seek significance, and then we surrender it all. And that's how we get it all.
This is very, 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 very interesting, because I think my biggest thing now is how do we get people to understand the purpose attached to service? Because let me take marriage, for example. Before I said this on the episode I did with Dr. Foy. Before I met Dr. Foy, I met his wife and his family. And now they've become my family.
Yeah.
I viewed marriage as a KPI.
Which, to be honest, a lot of people, they won't admit it.
Yeah.
But it's a tick the box.
Yeah, I viewed it as, okay, Axel, you... And I think even this even plays into a lot of men. When men say things like, I need to reach a certain amount of money before I marry. Because I feel like they've attached it with like, I've met this goal, so now, yes, I can do this, So before then, I viewed it as a KPI. I just reach a certain age and I will marry. And then I met Foy, I met Charity, Zara wasn't born there, Ziva was around. And I remember I had a house. I had my own house, but me and Foy had become so close, I was literally staying in his house. And I'll go back to my house to bath, change clothes. We'll come back, we'll meet, we'll go out and whatnot. And when I sleep over, Ziva used to do this thing, his first daughter. She would wake up very early in the morning. She'll run to the guest room, knock on the door till I wake up or come outside, and we'll play early morning.
She wasn't in school then.
Yeah, we'll play before she starts her day or go bath or go to school, whatever. And that play did something to me.
Oh, wow.
It was like, it was touching my... I don't know how to explain. It was touching my soul differently. It was healing me differently. And for the first time, I was like, I want this. I don't want it because it's what's expected of me. I desire it. I desire marriage. I desire children. And I think that now, when it comes to my work in music, one of the things I genuinely enjoy is being able to see someone with the talent and helping that person cross from level A to level B. It fills me with a satisfaction that I cannot explain.
Yeah, it happens to me too.
Unfortunately, this is now the era where people are so self-obsessed. Absorbed, obsessed, In fact, there was even a study that basically pointed at Instagram. That from selfie is where this thing started. That because before you would take picture facing the other side, and from the moment you could turn it to yourself, like it did something
to the world
and to the brain, to the human brain as well. And my thing now is I see a lot of people, a lot of young people who are very self-absorbed. Not only that, they also look up to their fellow young people who are doing amazing, and they don't realize that we are all on different journeys.
That's right.
So they quickly want to be like the next influencer, the next big podcaster, the next content creator. And I feel like a lot of people have lost purpose this way. In fact, I feel like I'm seeing this repeat itself because I feel like this used to happen with oil companies. There was a time everybody was crazy about going to work in oil. It was like,
Interesting analogy.
yeah, it was like you walk in, I just want to get an oil job. And now I think now is there are people who I feel like maybe you had a call to teaching and now you've abandoned it to be a content creator that's dancing on Instagram or something like that. And what that now does, I have discovered, is it widens the vacuum in your soul.
Mm-hmm.
So
the God gap.
Yeah, it widens the God gap. It widens that vacuum because when there is no God in your life, there's a vacuum in your soul.
Correct.
It is the greatest hack God put in man, the soul. You cannot deny your soul. That's why a millionaire can still commit suicide. A billionaire can still be depressed because the soul, you don't feel lie to your soul. So with purposelessness, I have seen now widens that vacuum.
And people try to fill that vacuum with drugs.
With material things,
sorts,
they love material things. Now, in trying to get people to find their way back to purpose, in trying to get people to find their way back to purpose, it is hard for a lot of reasons. One of the reasons now is first, money. And I say this in this context that I'm not going to talk about people worshiping money. That has been before Jesus. I'm going to talk about the context of people. I don't know that we have the right relationship with money. I don't know.
I think that, regarding purpose, that thing that you will never be settled or have peace till you enter it. Right? But what I would allude to that I'm finding in my journey is that a lot of people don't know how to find it or search it out or disrupt the flow that they're in to go and chase it. So it's interesting that you ask me this because one of the things that I've been doing in my life's work is to cater to the older professional.
Yes.
So they have this, there's this thing that happens called midlife crisis, where I almost think people are ashamed, so they don't talk about it, because it's almost like, are you alluding to the fact that you didn't succeed? Or you're a big girl now, what's wrong with you? Why are you thinking like this? Why are you getting everybody wants to come across as, I got it together.
Yes.
But there is this dark place where on the inside, everything collapses. Doesn't matter if you are seeing it, but people are dying on the inside. And what I find is the predominant question is, oh my God, the fear of I'm coming to the end of my career, I'm coming to the end of my days. It's how a lot of people interpret it. What did I do with my life? So, the more I spoke to people and I started to say, what the hell? What are you saying? If you are 50 and you live to 80, and some people say, what if you only live to 60? So if I'm only going to live to 60, I'm not going to know now. I better start doing something now, not so. But if I live to 80 and I'm 50, I have 30 years to go. Do you realize that between when you figured yourself out, after school, you got a job, you probably started to settle in at 35, 37. So imagine 35 to 50 is 15 years.
Yeah.
Do you know you have more life to live after you figured it out? But people kind of see it as a shutdown. And it's not even been easier because the younger generation and the Forbes list just keep going on and on. It almost feels like your own life is over. No, your life is not over. So, I figured out something because this phenomenon of midlife crisis
Yes.
also happened to me. And then I created this resource called the 40 Plus Accelerator,
Yes.
which is supposed to be, it's a guided journal and a course, which I've uploaded on YouTube. People need to buy the journal. And you can sit on your own and go through the 7 modules. It just helps you find your path. And then I think when you get to the end, you would, I think that course just helps you to really, really start to see yourself and pushes you to take a decision on the direction. One of the things that I can't sell, because I have this page where is the how to use this book. I say, it has to be meditative and contemplative. And if you're a prayerful person, in prayer too. I'm convinced that you will find yourself and then you will go into it. So what I've tried to create is something that is structured that helps you to find your way when you start feeling this way. All right? So this thing about purpose, I'm not sure that anybody should worry. It will force you will look for it. It's just that some people are mentally stronger, that early on, they discovered it and they didn't care what everybody else was saying. They jumped in. For some of us, we found it along the way.
Yeah.
Right? And when we were brave enough, we jumped off. Because a number of people are just still seeking the applause and the validation of other people, and hence have not found the bravery to stand alone and say, you know what, you might think in Nigeria that teaching is not all that, but I know that this is what I was born to do. And go head on. So I don't think anybody's going to have peace till they find it, sha. So I'm not as worried as I used to be. So if I have a desire today, it will be that people don't totally lose it before they find it, and that they find it earlier than later, just so that we can be all more fulfilled.
You know, what you've just explained now, what I'm getting from this is, if anyone understands, anybody that grasps what you're saying now understands that, in fact, the journey is important. The journey is almost more important than the destination.
Yes, and Excel, I'm going to allude to one thing. The journey can be hard. So this desire and expectation for soft life is not real.
Yeah.
Life is going to freaking throw those curveballs.
Yeah.
You're going to go into difficulty. Because I think that for you to ultimately get to the place that you should be, you have to be forged by fire. You will be forged by fire.
Yeah. Transitions. Right? Okay, let me keep transition. I have now discovered that there is a cost to transformation. And where this is coming from is, so I read something this morning in the Bible. I was reading Mark 5, where Jesus cast out demon from the demon-possessed man. And the demons begged Jesus that, please, don't just throw us anywhere. Let us enter those pigs. And there were like about 2,000 pigs. And Jesus agreed, and they possessed the pigs. And the pigs now entered into the river and drowned. And the man was healed. And the man was normal. And the people became scared when they saw that. And they also became scared when they saw what had happened to the pigs. Now, they begged Jesus to leave their area. That was their next reaction, that just, Chief, leave here, please. You have come and scatter. And I looked at it and I saw that what Jesus brought to that man was transformation. This is a man that was known for years to be demon-possessed. So you would think that the reaction would be one of celebration. But it wasn't. Instead, it was what Jesus had done with the man, healing the man, and sending those demons into the pigs, had upset the status quo of that area. And it made me look back to the Israelites in the wilderness when they were telling Moses, we had cucumber and watermelon in Egypt. And I'm learning now that a lot of times it's like we complain, we say we want to progress, we want to grow. But
All of us.
yeah, but we seem to be more at ease with where we are.
Yeah.
And when it's time for like real transition, we struggle with it.
Yeah.
I, for one, know, for example, now that, okay, I have grown to a certain level in my career executively. To grow to the next level, I know it takes. And part of what it would take is even me almost, I wouldn't say I'm abandoning my creative side. It will always be there. But entering even into higher levels of structure and governance. In fact, if I do it, it will greatly benefit my creative side and the work I'm doing with creative people. It will, because I can then at that level, I can really help and bring transformation. So there's a cost to it. And I've seen that people avoid that cost. Why is that?
Do you like discomfort? Really? Do you like discomfort? It's if you, nobody likes discomfort, and growth is uncomfortable. Growth is uncomfortable. So that's the reason. Would I, if you leave me alone, I only want to be having ice cream. But it would do damage.
Yeah.
Right? So comfort can be damaging. That's the flip side.
Yeah.
People don't want to, if a lot of people had their way, they would sleep and wake up whenever they wanted. But there's a cost to being alive. And you have to go and get the token of negotiation. You have to go and get the token that allows you to participate in the market, which is money, and get your needs. So I just think that it's just that discomfort. You think what? You think I like... Me too, I want to be comfortable. But I think maybe the way we should start to see it is comfort. Discomfort takes you to another level of comfort.
Ooh. Okay.
Another discomfort takes you to
another level of comfort.
Another discomfort takes you to another level of comfort. So I always say that the idea of greatness is to overcome obstacles. You wouldn't even watch a movie if the actor didn't almost die.
Yeah.
The main character. For you, it's not interesting.
If the guy had an easy journey
Do you
throughout the
understand?
whole
Why would I
movie,
be watching a movie that, every day, she came back from work, she cooked in the kitchen, she went out again, then she came back. So I beg, this movie is not sweet, Joe. But the one that, he has almost died. And don't let me talk about us now.
It's
Right?
our year, it's our year.
Amen. So I just think that that's the way to see it. But even as I'm here running my mouth, it's not an easy experience. The last few years, I've been going through my own bit. It's not easy, but there is no way to greatness. Listen to the stories of people who have made it, people who have done awesome things. Elon Musk, you tell you how he used to sleep under his table. They all have stories to tell, all of them. I don't think that they've exhausted their own stories.
No.
Whether it is people in Nigeria or people offshore who are known globally, it's just what it takes. Discomfort is what takes you
to another level of comfort.
to another level of comfort.
Speaking of discomfort, Now I'm looking for trouble.
I beg go.
Speaking of discomfort, so now in society we live in I would say, a more informed era on certain things to a certain degree. We are more emotionally aware. So, for example, we hear about toxic work culture. We hear about toxic relationships. So we are more aware. Now, I would say I could argue that the world you do your business in is a male-dominated world. A male-dominated world.
Jeez, you don't even know the half of it.
Right? And there are things that come with that territory.
Yeah.
Being one of the boys, almost you have to be one of the boys.
Truth be told, yes.
And there is, I can imagine sexism. I can imagine. Now, I see, I like your face.
No, I'm not doing my face.
No, because it's like, I want to know your experience, one. And two, why I even want to know your experiences for the young women out there who are getting into different careers. They may not necessarily be in finance, but they're getting into different levels in their career. And there are young people who are coming into senior levels in their career. And you know, when you grow in senior level, the madness is different from when you are an intern. The madness at that level is different. And you must still weather the storm. How have you been able to go so far in your career?
I don't know that I can say that I've gone so far.
You have done.
No, I'm going to be honest.
You have.
I'm not sure that I can even say that about
I looked at your
myself.
LinkedIn this morning, no?
Yeah, but I'll tell you this.
Former divisional head, South, GTV.
But I'll tell you that in my journey, one of the things that I've learned, we're playing nursery school games until you get to C-suit. I know people talk about corporate politics.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I can even call C-suit public corporate politics. I say you're dealing with big boy games. And so you have to build mental strength.
Yeah.
You have to be able to decipher, decode, listen for what is not being said. There's a lot. There's a lot. And I don't know that there's any other way to put it. I don't know that people in C-suite even openly admit or allude to the fact that playing at that level is look, the gulf between even senior management and C-suits is the Nile River.
You know, when I first got into quote unquote senior management, how I got into it was quite a funny experience because I felt like I was due for a promotion. I felt that way. And a role came up and everybody said, Excel, you are tailor-made for this role. This is a managerial role. So I was like, hey, finally. So I went to speak to the person in charge and they were like, Excel, you got it. We're just going to make sure. And then I'm on LinkedIn and I see congratulate so and so for resuming in that same position that I was told would be given to me. So I was like, waiting they happen. So this was my first drama. And I didn't speak with the CEO. First of all, I did something childish. But maybe that childish thing even helped me. And the childish thing was, I was like, I'm leaving. I'm going. These people don't value me, And the CEO called me. He called me and he said, Excel, you're one of our good guys now. What happened? I told him, I'm not seeing how I can grow here because, I was told that this role. And then it now led to another thing entirely. So apparently, even the CEO had recommended me for the role. But you see, the position I was in the company, I was playing a very vital and important role that was helping a lot of powerful people within the organization. And there were people that felt we need Excel in that place. If we move Excel from that place, it doesn't really benefit us. It benefits Excel or career-wise, but to move him from that place doesn't benefit the rest of us. So we'll keep him there. That was the first time in my life my brain was even my brain was open to such a realm of possibility that okay, me growing could also not mean well for someone else. I had never thought of that kind of scenario in my life.
Yeah, but so maybe the only thing I can say is be mindful to look out for yourself, but you need a really, really big picture perspective.
Yes.
It's not kid games.
Yeah. I think this is one of the things discomfort does for you. It makes you think big picture by force. It forces it on you.
It's you know. Understand why you're in the room. I'm not going to say
Understand why you are in the room.
Understand why you're in the room.
So even getting in the room is one thing, then understanding why you're in the room, that's another thing entirely.
And sometimes who brought you into the room? So it's put your big pants on.
Yeah.
So put on your big pants.
Interesting.
It's not baby games. It's not, you got to be strong.
Mentally.
Yes, you have to be very strong. You have to be strong. It's yeah. That's yeah.
What are some of the, because we have a lot of entrepreneurs that listen to this, what are some of the money mistakes you see entrepreneurs make with their businesses?
Oh no, that's very easy ask of me. First and foremost, a number of things I'm going to say. First and foremost, when you are starting up your business, commercial borrowing is the wrong thing to do. My easy way of explaining it is that interest rate does not acknowledge public holidays. Okay?
Yeah,
The fact
real.
that there's a public holiday does not discount the
Interest
interest you
rates.
have to pay for that day.
Yes.
So whether you are sleeping or whatever you choose to do, after borrowing the money and you want to go on holiday, that one is on you. The money doesn't have sense. It is programmed to be calculated and charged every day. There's a lot of uncertainty around a startup. So if you can avoid commercial borrowing, you should. And what you should be looking for is equity. Really, for a person, should start with people who can bet on your character and your competence. So friends and family who support the project
Financially.
Some for equity, some just to see you do good. But it cannot be something where there's an interest cost. Because interest also brings a kind of pressure that sometimes will put you in a space where you're taking the wrong decision.
Yeah.
Okay? That's one. Another money problem is the discipline of you and your business are not one and the same. So, your business money is not your money. That separating your money, and I think a lot of people have spoken to this, and the money of your business should be two different entities. So you can be broke and your business is rich. And even in accounting, as you know, I'm a chartered accountant.
Yes.
You will post in the books director borrowing when there is an exchange between the business and the person. But the business and the person are not one and the same. So I would say those two critical points are some of the big mistakes. Because a lot of times when I see people, banks don't like to give money. Banks don't like to give money. I say, do you know that banks make money from lending money?
Yeah, it's a huge part of the business.
So if they are refusing to give you money, ask yourself why. I mean, the guy is going to make money from giving you money. It should make you go back and think. So for entrepreneurs, it's probably, maybe the third thing for me would be liquidity. Having cash in your business, and I don't mean physical cash, having some money in your account, lose money. Liquidity is as blood to the human being. So your business has to be liquid to be alive. The fact that we drained blood out of your body does not mean that your form and your structure disappeared. They didn't, but you died. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's how liquidity is. So whatever you do, don't be so cash strapped. I take, for instance, a common one with Nigerians is, or in this space is, for the show of it, I will take all the money in my business and I will go and build an office that impresses people. But that's a sunk cost. It may not yield relative to the investment that you have made. So better stay in that your one-room flat where you are running your business and have liquidity. That means that I can buy and resell, I can continue to produce, I can do things that are productive than to do things for show. And how I'll round this up, a few years back, a customer said to me that a lot of Nigerians do business for the return on the ego.
Ooh.
So, do you want a return on your investment, or are you seeking a return on your ego? You have to be clear what you want. Yeah.
I noticed that, just like companies, so we talk about a company like a startup now reaching a point and needing to scale. I've also noticed that so it is with people. People need to scale as individuals, And I have now noticed a unique new problem. Maybe it's not new. But it's a unique problem in the sense where people know how, they don't scale. What they do is they stay in a territory. And I call this territory familiar wins. In fact, Foy was talking about it recently that David has a point where the Goliath story doesn't help him anymore. Not because the Goliath story is bad, but we've moved on from that. You need new doings, new wins. And I think that a lot of people tend to stay in the territory of familiar wins instead of breaking forth into new. And this is also because transition is hard.
Discomfort.
Yes. Despite knowing, so maybe my question is two-faced. One is, how do you know when it's time to scale up? And this is me now talking referring to as individual. At what point did you know that? Sometimes I think it's discomfort, you feel like an itch that I should move, That's one. And two, transitioning is an ugly process. It's not cute.
Very dirty.
Yeah, it's an ugly process. How do you maintain sanity? This is how we're ending this.
Very finding such a big look. It's a big question, and I wish Dr. Foy was in the room because he'll tell you that for years Dr. Foy was on my case to do some of the stuff that I'm doing now.
Oh wow!
And so eventually, when I decided to do the boot camp, he actually, in 2 or 3 different occasions, he would look at me and say, "You're actually doing this.
Really doing
I can't
it.
believe this. You're really doing this." So that spoke to my own discomfort with, but you know, when do you know? You take me right back to my faith. I would almost never take a major decision that I haven't prayed about or I haven't had some direction on. So that will be my own how. But I think that even those seasons come with discomfort. You just know. So I have a boss who said to me, I used to wonder, because I worked at GT Bank for 22 years. And so people were leaving, and I was always there. And, you know, one time I asked an older boss who had left. I was having coffee with him. One day he came into Abuja. I used to live there. And I said, how will I know? How did he know when it was time to leave? He said, trust me, you will know. He always said, trust me, you know. I will ask to other people. They'll say, trust me, you will know. And so I'm going to say to everybody, trust me, you will know. Because truly, when I got to that point, I knew. It was clear. So I think that you would know.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But another way of saying it for me is, if you are in a place or doing something that is weathered, it's not advancing you anymore, it's not challenging you.
You're not growing.
Yeah, you're not growing. That's a great pointer.
Okay.
That it's time to move. So don't just stay in a place to be answering title because it's going to go, right? But, you know, it is now signaling that comfort to discomfort to comfort to discomfort. That is a trigger to enter discomfort. You may not immediately see it, but if you're going to grow, it's going to be something that is going to task you or challenge you, or you're coming from a place that has tasked you and challenged you, and now you're entering into the place, your wealthy place, where you should actually be.
Yeah.
And that can be ugly.
Yeah.
Sometimes you come across as a madman.
Yeah.
And people will be like, what's
People on the outside are like, are you
okay?
Yeah.
You know, to some extent, sometimes it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But you have to have clarity as a person, even if everybody else does not understand it. Imagine how, and I don't know how we're making this a Bible study podcast. Imagine how Joseph looked. How are you mad? How did Mary come and tell you the Holy Ghost came upon me? And even after he had his own revelation, imagine how he looked to everybody else. A madman. But he knew what he knew with clarity. And so he was following through. With time, everybody else is going to get it. So you have to have clarity, even when other people don't get it. You have to have clarity, and you have to be comfortable and know without a doubt that you have clarity.
Yes.
It's not forced clarity. It's not something that you're just telling yourself 1 + 1 is equal to 2.
You know.
You know.
This
and that's what's going to keep
you sane.
Yeah.
Ndidi Ukaonu, thank you so much. This has been amazing. I don't even know how long we've spoken, but I've been enjoying it. I've just been enjoying myself.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I've loved it.
Please, guys, go and get her book and watch out for the Power of Work Bootcamp. It's coming to Abuja and more will happen. So look out for it. Thank you so much.
Thank
Till
you.
next time.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Unheard Insights by XL Joab, the number one podcast should be listening to.